Hey, Colabcoaching yet again to share some wise words of wisdom for the week. So excited to get into this week. So excited to talk about this topic. I've done this before in a series, but I wanted to especially get into this because, the holiday season is coming, fall, it's getting cold outside. People tend to be in relationships during the winter time because they don't want to feel alone because as you may know, seasonal depression is real. But before we get into that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to tell me how I'm doing. If you like my approach, if you don't like my approach, I'm all here for it. If you have some pointers or critiques, I'm all here for it. If you just want to give me a shout out, I'm all here for it. And also, if you have some topics that you want me to talk about, I'm here for it as well. With that being said, the topic for this week is when you want to allow people in your life. When you want to allow people in your life. This is easier said than done because a lot of people tend to be very closed off for multiple reasons. Things that may have happened in their past, situations that may have arisen that you thought that was not going to arise. You may have felt like you found that person for you, that soulmate, and it didn't end up working out. Or it may be a situation with just you just don't like people. And that's real. A lot of people, especially in our current state of life and the use of social media, people tend to be withdrawn, tend to not be able to communicate the right ways or approach people the right ways, and social interaction is not easy for them. With that being said, there are solutions for this. There are solutions for this. But if you are that type of person that is focusing on wanting to allow more people into their lives, we have to evaluate why it's not currently going on. Now let's talk about a lot of different situations, and I'll break things down as well. Now the first thing I want to talk about is the simple fact that it's you. It's you are the reason why you don't have certain relationships in your life because of lack of vulnerability. A lot of people take for granted what it means to be vulnerable. A lot of people take for granted what it means to actually open up and to share all parts of them. A lot of people, including myself, whenever you have conversations with people, you tend to share bits and pieces of yourself. You don't want to disclose too much. Maybe you don't want to dump too much on them. But when you want to have a successful, intimate, positive relationship, focusing solely on relationship and understanding what relationship is, you have to be vulnerable. Now, it's difficult to be vulnerable when you just don't trust people. It's difficult to be vulnerable when you have been hurt before in the past. It is difficult to be vulnerable when you just don't want to be vulnerable. There are people out here that just don't want to be vulnerable, so they tend to lie about themselves. They tend to make up a facade. They tend to not really share the ins and outs of who they are, the positives and negatives, and it hurts them. It hurts them in the long run because people get to know the fake version of yourself, the alternate version of yourself, versus getting to know the true version of yourself. And that's when you get to the point and you're like, what, I actually want to have people in my life. I'm getting older. Maybe you really starting to establish yourself in your life, and now you actually want to share your life with someone, and now you can't because you're so used to putting up a facade. You're so used to lying. You're so used to pretending. And now when it's time for you to actually be truthful, maybe people don't believe you, and you don't even believe yourself. To get over that, you have to realize that it's more important for you to be honest with yourself first before anyone can believe your honesty and your truth. Because if you are going around pretending, people only gonna recognize you for your lies and your acts. But if you are walking around in your truth and being honest with yourself, people notice that. People notice that. Even if you may not get a person that says, "Hey, I noticed that you're in your truth today," people will notice who you are and how you act. Another reason why people are not open is because they don't trust. They don't trust. They don't allow people in their lives for an intimate capacity because they just don't trust people. Maybe you have trusted people, or you had a definition of trust and vulnerability that people pretended to understand and respect, but they manipulated it, they gaslit it, they acted like it was something that was they can comply to, but they basically flipped the script. Maybe they cheated on you, maybe they lied to you, maybe they stole from you, whatever it may be. It happened. and you have built walls around you to the point where you just don't trust anybody. You rather solidify yourself in your personal castle rather than stepping out into the frontier, into the world, in a sense, when it comes to relationships. Now it's unfortunate. I'm not here to take a light approach on that because it was hurtful and probably is still hurtful. But the reality of it all is that if you want something in your life and you know that you have the capacity to do it, the only person stopping you is you. Maybe you don't have to tear down the walls completely. Maybe you can break it down halfway, at least to get eye view and eye level of someone that may have the ability to be open with you and that you can possibly trust in the future. The last thing I want to talk about, man, there's a lot of examples, but one of the other examples about you allowing yourself to have other people in your life, but you're not able to, is when you just doubt it. You just feel like you can't do it. You feel like that this is not you. You are not the person that deserves to allow people in your life or deserve to have the happy relationship. There are a lot of people out there that think that way. There are a lot of people out there that haven't been in relationships or haven't even been in a relationship at all, and they feel like they don't deserve to be in one. I'm here to say you deserve to have people in your life that love you, that care about you, that respect you, that you can trust and you can confide in and be vulnerable with and to, and vice versa. Have those people come to you because life is not meant to be lived alone and to be loved alone. You cannot live your life fully if you're by yourself. You cannot love fully if you just love yourself. That's it. Now, don't get me wrong. Loving yourself is important, but you deserve to love other people too, and other people love you as well. Simple as that. So, to make this as simple as possible, when you want to allow people to be in your life, when you want to allow people in your life, remember that you may be the reason why. And again, I'm not blaming you, but you may be the reason why that certain people are not in your life because maybe you have been hurt in the past. Maybe you have issues with vulnerability. You don't want to be honest with yourself and you've just been living a life of dishonesty, maybe putting up a facade, putting up a mask because that's the way you were able to live. But now you realize that you actually want to settle down and actually be with someone wholeheartedly. And it's hard for you to actually be honest with yourself and other people. You have to be honest with yourself. And also, you may be a person who just doesn't feel like they deserve to be in a successful, happy, beautiful, loving relationship. And I'm here to say that you do deserve that. But you have to allow people in. You have to allow people to be vulnerable with. You have to allow other people to trust you and you trust them. And you have to allow yourself to be happy. If you could do those three things, I promise you'll be able to allow people in because you deserve it. And as simple as that. So if you're struggling with this, go ahead and message me. Go ahead, go on my website, colabcoach.com. Fill out the relationship checklist. Sign up for that free 15-minute coaching session to see if we're a good fit for each other. Facebook Colab Coaching, Instagram Colab Coaching. All my videos on my series on YouTube, COLAB Coaching. Like and subscribe. I also amazing book, Fresh Eyes Solve Problems Easier. I'm an author. It's available on ebook, it's a Kindle, it's on audiobook, it's physical print. Doris Publishing. You can find it probably in Barnes and Nobles and Amazon as well. If you can't find it, let me know. Write a review. Tell me what you thought about it. If you like it, great. If you didn't, great. It's all about self-love. So, with that being said, you deserve to allow people in your life. You have to put the work in. It's easier said than done, but it's not impossible. Put the work in. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Be safe out there. Bye.